A few weeks ago, I was expecting to hear from you that you've come out with a vaccine for the coronavirus to save everyone. How come that didn't come up?
See, on the topic of the vaccines for the coronavirus, my take on this, my view on this is that it's quite a challenging effort, and people are doing well. A lot of research groups are coming together and working around the clock to try and fight this disease. It's alarming, it's serious, it's devastating, but we can only keep hope and really stay strong and stay safe. The way the vaccine works is that you need to understand the virus. You need to understand how it affects, how it mutates, in order to know how to arrest it and make a vaccine that will last longer in terms of fighting the COVID-19. So I think it would be a haste or be a rush to get a vaccine now, but we are still hoping that by 2021 we should get a vaccine circulating in our system to help arrest the COVID. So you're not there yet, but hopefully we get it.
By 2021, that's a long way away. I mean, why does it have to
Well,
take
that's
so
what
long
I'm saying.
to develop a vaccine? Can you, throw more light on that?
I wouldn't want to get too technical. As the expert is saying, it takes, like I said before, it takes a longer period of time to get a vaccine towards this virus instantly because even we are trying to understand, people are trying, experts are trying to understand, um, experts are trying to understand the virus much better. So now they're trying to understand how the virus is replicating, how it's mutating, how it's infecting other people. Once they get that understanding, then they can easily get a vaccine to fight the virus. So I can't say much to the technicalities of the vaccine development. I leave that to the experts to probably enlighten the world on how they want to do that in details, but I can't talk to that right now, unfortunately.
Okay, okay, that's great. Before we move on,
Yeah.
how has the lockdown lift been for you guys in Ghana? And you guys can comment
So,
in the comment section below. But Senyo, how has it been? What are your thoughts on, it's a very
you know,
controversial topic. What are your thoughts
uh,
on the lift on the lockdown in Ghana?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it goes to say, I mean, it's something I've been telling my friends about. When it comes to the timing of the implementation of certain measures, right? And in reaction to people
yeah,
saying that the lockdown should have been done much earlier, I have the opinion that the timing has to be as close as possible to the peak, right, of your infections. Otherwise, if you lock down too early and your population gets stressed out or tired, or your
uh,
economy is not able to sustain the lockdown measures for that long, then it means that it wouldn't be that effective. Do you get that?
uh, uh, yeah, but I beg to differ on that point.
Yeah, sure.
You know, in ideal systems, in ideal cases, once we knew that the infection was near our borders,
Mm-hmm.
we should have closed the borders. That's that's the sentiment of every Ghanaian. Okay, that why did we have to wait for two cases, imported cases, to get into the country before we started taking measures? Okay, I have to pretend to know what the government is doing, but I'm pretty sure that at some point when they saw that we're in danger of being infected, then they started putting in place policies. This is a case where Ebola was in Liberia and it spread to other countries. We did not close our borders because we had the opinion that we could not get Ebola in Ghana. At that point, health professionals were actually advocating that we should close our borders to prevent any spread into our country.
Yeah.
We are of the opinion that as Ghanaians, you know that, oh, Ghana dear, Ebola is in Baha. Ghana dear, Ebola cannot come to this country. So I want to believe that's the same idea, or should I say mentality, that we had until we knew that, oh, it is truly among us and these people have been exposed to people. Then it got real. We should not be quick to disregard that we are people of culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we believe in heart, we believe in handshake, we believe in um, getting to know people better through social gatherings and all that. That is why it's making it very difficult for us to adhere to social distancing. On the case of the curve, the infectivity curve,
Yeah.
ideally, once you have, from what I've read and what I know,
Mm-hmm.
when you actually your infectivity curve is flattening. When I say flattening, I mean that obviously once the infection starts, it will peak. Okay,
Yeah.
once it picks up and flattens down, then you can start to relax on the measures put in place
Yeah.
by removing
Exactly.
one policy at a time.
Yeah.
Only taking people adjust back to normal way of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's the argument here that we are not even flattening yet. We are not even at the peak. We don't know what the peak is of the infectivity rate in
Exactly.
Ghana.
Exactly.
But at this, we should, the president has made a comment in his tweet that he's actually thinking about the common Ghanaian because people are complaining of hunger, people are complaining of not having any money, and are begging that they should open shops and work for a while. And if the infection should go up, as a man said on TV3, then they should lock them up again. You know, I understand that the government is thinking about the people as well, but we need to be careful not to use compassion to let this virus spread out of control. So it's a balance. I mean, it's a very great area, and we don't know what policy is the best for you. Hoping that it doesn't go against us in any way as the population.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I agree with you. On that point of the curve and managing the cases as you go along that a long time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I think I
Mhm.
told a couple of my friends about that we have no idea whether we've gotten to the peak of the cases yet. We don't know what, because
Exactly.
the curve is progressive. So if we are releasing measures now, then
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
means that obviously it has a higher tendency of continuing in that exponential growth. Um,
That's what
because
we hope it's there.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that's what we really want to avoid, because I think the numbers that we've been experiencing, it has been exponential, but it's on the lower side because we are in the earlier stage of this, right? So once we get to the latter stage of
Yeah.
exponential growth, then it gets very, very bad, right? After after a couple of
You know,
weeks of serious
yeah.
exponential growth, then your numbers start going into the tens of thousands, starts going into the hundreds of thousands, and it's difficult to control at that
We
point.
hope yeah, we hope you don't get
Yes.
there. We hope. We hope that doesn't get to that. We hope it doesn't get to that.
Yeah, that is what every Ghanaian will be praying for and hoping for. So we're hoping for the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you are a researcher, right? In Noguchi, right? Can you tell us a little bit? I want us to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about COVID-19, just to understand the science behind it, right? So can you just explain to us just briefly, what is a virus and how exactly do they infect humans?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. It's a very beautiful question. And for the benefit of our viewers, I'll try not to get too technical
Yeah,
on the
just
details of
just
the
break it
virology
down
and the biology and
for
about.
a layman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what we should understand that a virus is like a parasite, okay, that um, it can't survive without a host cell. Okay.
Okay.
So once outside in the environment, it's inactive. It can't unless it infects you. Then it can start its whole process of growing, multiplying, and killing the cells. Okay. In the sense of speaking of coronavirus is among the family of viruses. Okay. This coronavirus family has what we call SARS and MERS. virus is in there.
I
Now,
see.
SARS, as we all know, in 2010, a pandemic was a serious problem, respiratory disease. And, and SARS is basically severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay.
Okay.
And 1 in 10 of the people infected were killed. That's how severe that virus was. With MERS is also Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome, and that normally infected people from the Middle East area. That's why they give the name MERS. Okay, coronavirus, this COVID-19 we are seeing belongs to that family. Okay, and they gave it the name SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 because it behaves just like SARS.
All right.
Okay, so SARS virus 2. That was the name given to it because it was very similar to that of the SARS that had been isolated before, from what literature says. And initially, with this virus, it was said to be a very mild form of the virus as compared to SARS, which would hit you and kill you instantly. But what we are saying is that as it infected from human to human to human, it mutated very quickly. We are seeing that it got more fatal. What the researchers are saying is that the virus was basically isolated from a bat in China.
Okay.
Somewhere soon, the virus kind of adapted to that level of progression of immunity in order for it to proliferate. They had to overcome the immune cells of the bat in order to cause the disease. So most bats, because of that aggressive nature of their immune system, they're able to act as reservoirs for the virus.
Okay.
Now it's said that that was infected to those people in Wuhan was gotten from a pangolin. It is believed that the bat, for some funny reason, infected a pangolin with the virus, and someone somewhere and fed on the pangolin and had the virus transmitted to he, the human, and that's where the transmission started from. The interesting part about the virus is that initially we understood that it's an upper respiratory tract infection, meaning that the virus infects both your throat area and your lungs. Your lung is here.
Yeah.
So with that, it was not fatal. It's very easy to treat. You can easily use some antiretrovirals and stuff, and you'll be fine. Or once your immune system is strong enough, you can overcome the infection. But what we are seeing is that over the months that we've seen, there have been developed cases where it has gone to the lungs. So scientists, researchers in the lab wanted to understand why so. How did it progress from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract to cause such fatalities in the patients that have died? What they realized was that, like I told you before, the virus is just a microorganism that can do nothing on its own outside the body.
Needs a host.
Okay. It can only attack you when it's inside the host. Okay. So now what they saw was that when the virus obviously is transmitted through water droplets. Okay. So if anyone coughs or sneezes, an infected person coughs or sneezes in close proximity with you, and you inhale it, you can easily get a virus into your system. Or if someone coughs or sneezes on a surface, and you touch the surface, and you do not wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, or even disinfect your hands, and you touch your face, the probability of you get the virus into your system is higher. So that's why I advise you that wash your hands carefully and thoroughly with soap and running water. Running water is very important because then you don't have that case of reinfecting yourself from stagnant water. You understand? And also after that, wipe your hand and sanitize your hand just to be safe.
All right.
If you do not do that, you have the way of transmitting the virus onto yourself.
Okay.
And once it gets into the respiratory system, the virus needs what we call receptors on whatever cell is targeting in order for it to penetrate the cell and multiply and destroy the cell to cause a lot of the virus to be increased in the system. Okay. Now, when it does that, this receptor is called a ACE2 receptor.
Okay.
I know I'm getting a bit too
Yeah,
technical.
yeah, it's
Try and
getting
break it
really
down again.
technical.
It's an it's
Try
an
really hard to
ACE2
understand.
receptor. It's an ACE. So it's an ACE2 receptor, and once the virus attaches to this ACE2 receptor, it penetrates the cell on the cells located on the surface of the throat and the lungs, and invades the cell and destroys the cell. Okay.
All
Once
right.
it starts destroying the cell, body has signals that you are under attack.
Okay.
So we need to fight the infection. So your immunity starts to work by releasing soldiers or should I say antibodies towards the
Okay.
site of infection. Okay. They have Scientists have seen that this drop in the lung. Okay. And because the virus has high affinity for these receptors, it has evolved to the extent that it can move from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract. If your immune system is not strong enough.
Okay. All right. So that's
That
that's basically
um
how come
and
people have infections
exactly
in their lungs and then they develop pneumonia and then they have respiratory tract failure and something shock
no,
septic. Is it
I'm
septic
coming there.
shock?
Yeah,
I
I'm
read
coming
about
there.
all that.
You know, it's quite disturbing,
Okay.
because when it gets to the lungs, it kind of looks like your immune system, if it's too strong, can go against you. That is how it's
Okay.
looking right now.
I see.
Because once the lungs and it has, it has a lot of the receptors there. So the virus is happy. Okay, they are invading, they are killing the cells, they are getting more, they are pulling more, they are multiplying more and more in the system. Okay, once your cells are being killed, they form what we call pus. Okay, like liquid fluid, thick fluid in
Yeah.
the lungs. And when you have fluid in the lungs, it's very difficult to breathe because then your oxygen there is being pushed out and being depleted at the fast rate. That is why people have those respiratory infections that you're talking about. The difficulty to breathe because there's so much cells and the immune system is aggressively fighting the virus. So in doing so, it has adverse effects on you, the human being, if not checked well. So then they have to put you on a ventilator to make sure that you're fine, you can breathe well. So there's a lot of factors that could lead to the severity of the infection. And so scientists are trying to look at these factors in order to clearly understand how the virus is able to migrate from the upper respiratory tract all the way down to the lower respiratory tract, and how they can, for lack of a better word, mitigate the immunity of the host or patient in order to get an effective vaccine to be effective enough to kill the virus or inactivate the virus and prevent it from infecting these cells to make the body actually fight against each other. Researchers have seen that, there's a question where people ask that, okay, so I have been infected with coronavirus before and I've recovered. So does that mean I have immunity against the
Immunity.
virus?
Exactly.
That's a very interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting question that has come up, and there are a lot of talks about it. I mean, globally around the world. And one scientist, I forgot his name, speculated that he's a virologist in the U.S. I forgot the
Okay.
university though, but he said he could speculate that you could be immune for just a year or two,
Yeah.
then you could easily be infected again. But in what reports we've heard is that even people in China who had recovered from the virus had been reinfected with the
Infected.
virus. So, yeah, so there's a lot of conflicting stories here and there. And all these stories need to be checked and understood before we can have a lasting solution to this global pandemic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Senyo, on the point that you just mentioned, could it not be that somebody
Mhm.
got infected with a particular strain and got reinfected with a different strain? Because I've read that right now researchers are saying there are three different strains of COVID-19 across the globe. And I know that Noguchi also did some research to also validate or probably add on that knowledge that came out. Is that a possibility, or what do you think about that?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the question, though. It's a big possibility in the sense that I didn't mention this because I didn't get too technical,
Okay.
but as the reported, we have different types of mutations a virus can go through, okay? And has been reported that this virus actually goes through a frame shift mutation, okay? And we should take into account that, the genomic makeup, the gene or the way we are made up as Africans will be different from the way Caucasians or Hispanics or even Asians are made up.
Okay.
So that probability of the virus replicating or mutating as compared to genetic diversity is a possibility. I am not saying that I know for a fact that it has mutated, but I am saying that it's a possibility and should not be ruled out. In response to what Noguchi in collaboration with WACBIP found out about the whole genome sequencing, what I read was that they tested the cases, positive cases of those who imported the virus into the country, okay,
Yeah.
to see how different the virus was from that first reported in Wuhan. And what they've seen is that the virus has a 92% similarity
I
to the
see.
virus that was isolated in Wuhan. So basically, there's no um, major mutations to the virus currently. So with that expertise and with that new knowledge, they can now try and also sequence those viruses that are locally transmitted among the population to see how diverse that will be from those that were imported to the country to have a better understanding on if the virus is actually mutating and adjusting itself to our.
Okay.
So
Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have a few questions from the comment section. We'll just
Mm.
handle. Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining in the show today. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified anytime I come online on the live stream. And I'll see you guys again next week, same time, same place. Peace. Have a good evening, everyone.